Alright, welcome everybody to my video on the Uberti Cattleman first model revolver. First things first, I don't know why it matters, but we're going to show that this gun is unloaded. I'm not going to accidentally shoot you through the YouTube, or if I shoot myself, I'm definitely not posting a video of it, but there it is nonetheless. Like I said, this is a video of the first model Uberti Cattleman revolver. It's made to replicate the very first Colt single-action armies coming off the production line back in the early 1870s. I'm going to throw out information that I believe to be true. If it is not, please correct me in the comments below. I don't think there's a whole lot of information out there about these, and I could be wrong about some things, but I'm going to throw some stuff out there. So going back, I read an article back in the mid-90s about this gun when it first came out. The Cattleman had already been being made for years, and I owned a shorter barreled 4 3/4 old model base pin screw gun at the time. It was actually my first gun I purchased when I turned 21. So obviously I was into guns of the Old West, but I remember reading this article, it caught my interest, talking about how Uberti was coming out with a reproduction of the very first Colt Peacemakers, and it had the same features that the very first Colt Peacemakers had. Since then, I'd always wanted one, and I'd always kept a lookout for one, scouring auction sites later on as I got older. And here it was 25 years later, about a year ago, I finally got this one off of one of the auction sites. Didn't know what it was when I first was searching through the pages there. And but I was always on the lookout for a first model. Most of the ones I'd run across, and I'd only seen probably 2 or 3 in all that time. They were never new guns. They were always used, and they were always listed generically as a Cattleman, single action army, or whatever. So I had to go in and look at pictures and see if I could find the gun with the right features. This gun, I saw the thumbnail, and instantly the grips caught my eye. I've looked at and known quite a few Cattlemans, and most Cattlemans come out with some pretty generic red finished grips. They're most time people change the finish on them. They'll strip them and refinish them because they don't like them. But these grips caught my eye, made me click on the gun, and first thing I noticed in one of the pictures was the front sight. Front sight is lighter color, and it is listed, if you look at the information on these guns, is supposed to be German silver front sight. Whether that is or not, I do not know, but regardless, the sight was definitely a non-standard feature of this gun, and I thought I might have been onto something. And looking at the pictures, the next feature was the pinch frame, which is the most important feature of the pinch frame Colt. And Uberti came out with this model, first model, and one of the things they changed on the first model was the pinch frame to make a copy of the Colt from the early production. So that is the pinch frame, what it looks like on the rear sight. Obviously, I can see why Colt did away with it. It is even harder to see than the standard Peacemaker and single action army sights, but it is a cool feature nonetheless. Another feature of the first model Cattleman and the early Colts was the loading gate itself was larger and protruded further down into the slot for the loading area, which made it a lot smaller area for you to get your thumb underneath to open it up. Regular production single action armies, this gap is quite a bit larger where you can get better purchase on it to open it up. Those are the 3 main features of the Cattleman first model. Obviously, due to the era of manufacture, they're also going to have the black powder frame base pin screw and the bullseye ejector. Features not exclusive to the first model, but they are offered on the old models, and this would not be correct if it didn't have them. Couple things of note on this gun, like every other one I saw, first model, which was not many, like I said, it was 3. They were all Navy Arms import guns. See if I can get into focus there. Navy Arms. Every single one I saw was a Navy Arms import. Not saying they were exclusively distributed by Navy Arms, but the ones I saw were all from there. The gun also has the standard modern bluing. It's not charcoal finish. My personal preference on the charcoal finish, I know they say it's supposed to be more original. I don't particularly care for it. I know it wears quicker and the gun looks more authentic as the finish goes away. That's what my original Cattleman was. But it's just a little bit too blue for me. And I like the regular blue guns a little better. And I don't remember what the other ones I saw were, if they were charcoal or the blue finish or what. But other than that, standard Cattleman fare, you know, this is a 7.5-inch gun, 45 Colt. I did see one after I bought this that I believe was 4440. I know that if you scour the Italian gun parts sites, that they do offer first model barrels in different lengths with the German silver front sight in different calibers. I don't know if Uberti manufactured them or if they were just extra parts left over. My main curiosity on this gun is, how rare is it? Is it as rare as I think it is? Probably not. Like I said, I've seen 3. The differences between that and the standard Cattleman are very minute. I don't think that most of them are out there. People really realize that they have something that's an oddity from the regular Cattleman. I think there's more out there. They're just not recognized for what they are. If anybody knows more about these, please leave some comments down in the comments section. Maybe you can educate me a little bit. You know more about it. I'm very interested in them. I just don't run across them very much. I do believe they're, like I said, that they're a little rare, but not collectible by any standpoint, I wouldn't think. Just an interesting thing to share with people, and hopefully they'll recognize that they have something that's a little different. Trying to think if there's anything else about this gun that I need to share other than, I guess I could talk about shooting it. The gun was near perfect when I got it. It had a couple nicks in the barrel right there, you can see. Other than that, I'd be surprised if the gun had been fired. When I took it to the range, I think I got 2 rounds out of it and the cylinder locked up, and had a hell of a time getting it out. Actually scratched up the cylinder a little bit. Not too bad there, but had a hard time getting the cylinder out. It was locked up. Turned out that the recoil plate, that the face that the rear of the cartridges rest against in there, was not machined evenly, and the primers were popping out a little bit and causing some clearance issues when the cylinder was turning. I managed to rectify that, and the gun's a good shooter now. Plan on keeping it. It's a good gun. Like a lot of Ubertis I've had, I'd recommend them. They're good guns, but every once in a while, I think their likelihood for getting one that maybe needs a little massaging here and there to make it a little better it's not an uncommon thing with them. But other than that, I love their guns. And like I said, if anybody knows more about this particular model and can share some information with me on it, I'd be greatly appreciative.